Dear students, good morning. Welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 25th September 2020. The first article for discussion is Shadow Force Apart. India needs a China plan. Here, the author, who was Inspector General of Special Frontier Force, talks about the value added by this force and also India's way forward with China. China has border with 14 different nations. It is estimated to be 22,100 kilometers in length. It also has border disputes with many of them. We saw the disputes with Vietnam, Philippines, and South China Sea, India, and with Japan. But other than that, it also had with Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, etc. If we are able to see how China is handling the disputes with various powers and also countries like Vietnam, India can have a clear cut strategy in discussing issues along line of actual control. The second part is the Special Frontier Force has served India very well. It has come into existence after 1962 war. It played its role in 1971 war with Pakistan and after that in Kargil conflict and today in occupying the critical heights on south shore of Lake Pangang. So this is what author is trying to drive. So let us study clearly the border situation along China and border disputes of China with the other countries. That is the take home point. Will the farm bills benefit farmers? You know, three bills are passed by the Parliament. Essential Commodities Act. The second is Agricultural Trade and Commerce Bill. After that, Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill. In this, the most controversial bill is Trade and Commerce Bill, which is also said to be APMC Bypass Bill. What is APMC? Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee Bill. To understand this, we have to understand how the marketing committees function today. Today, if a farmer produces a grain in a particular area, he is supposed to sell it in a marketing committee in that particular area. So there the traders will be there and these traders will be monitored by the marketing committee. Trader has to pay certain fee to that marketing committee and then farmer can go there and sell. There are multiple fees which are involved in this process. It means the government regulation is very high with regard to the conduct of sale of agricultural produce. Why this government regulation is existing? It is to protect the farmer. And second, government also announces minimum support prices where the trader shall not buy the product less than this. So the procurement price is the basis for market price of the agricultural produce. Next point is outside the market committees also buying and selling of the grain happens with the private traders. But these private traders take the prices in marketing committees as an ad stake to buy the grain from the farmer. Today, with the new bills, along with APMCs, private mandis or private marketplaces are also expected to come up. These marketplaces are not expected to charge any fees or tariff to the farmer or to the trader. Then obviously the traders who are there in APMCs, that is government mandis, they are expected to move to these private mandis. Then slowly APMCs will die. And the second part of this is lack of negotiation with the states. The states have an important role to play in agricultural marketing. But center, parliament passed these bills with little consultation is the second point. Third most important thing is unorganized farm sector. Can it have a bargaining power with the organized corporate sector? Let us take a private mandi or market is created with the help of a big corporate. Let us take Reliance. When a farmer goes over there, if the traders become a cartel over there and Reliance is operating through these trade cartels, obviously the bargaining power of the poor farmer is expected to be very weak. When there is no standard reference price set by the government, obviously they can bargain at a very lower price. It is expected to hurt the interests of the farmers, especially if you see with the seasonal products like tomatoes, etc. The price is falling drastically, and tomorrow with the grains also it is expected to happen. So the farmer may stand exploited. And across the world, how the Walmart, these operate, if we observe, they are trying to cartelize themselves. They are going to yield their muscle and money power to silence the farmers. That is how happened. Development of monopolies and oligopolies is common in the farm sector. Next is private markets are not at all regulated. So development of cartels is much easier in private markets. Now, who will be worst affected? Obviously, the regulated sale is happening in the grain now. So that's why paddy, wheat growers, they are expected to get worst affected. On the other side, what are the positive things? As of now, the marketplaces are insufficient. So APMCs, almost we are expected to have a market for around 40 square kilometers. So they are not sufficient. So marketplaces are expected to grow and access to markets is expected to increase. At least in theory, farmers are expected to get more choice because they can sell across the markets rather than selling at a fixed market. And finally, today the sowing by the farmers is determined by the MSP prices. So the diversification of crops is not happening. If MSPs are not being guaranteed, obviously the market forces of demand and supply will determine what has to be sown by the farmers. That will improve the diversification of food production in India. And these are the advantages. Market efficiencies and procurement efficiencies are bound to increase in a market mechanism. Please focus on this article. There will be a question in the mains on this particular area. Health worker safety deserves a second look. Here, health worker safety is synonymous with the patient safety. An overworked health worker is going to jeopardize the patient safety too. In these circumstances, organizations have to learn from their mistakes, especially with regard to healthcare worker safety, and apply a systems approach to solve the problems permanently. What is a systems approach? Input, throughput, and output, these three have to be analyzed. Let us take an emergency department is analyzed. How many patients are coming in? Do all they deserve to come to emergency department? How many days they are staying? And how the treatment is covered to them? And are there any inefficiencies in delivering medicines, etc.? When they can be discharged outside the emergency department to vacate the bed? When you can study this systematically across the hospital, then we can find new efficiencies and we can also improve healthcare worker and patient safety. The word which you need to learn from this topic over here is systems thinking, holistic thinking. So systems thinking means you are thinking a particular problem from the context of the entire ecosystem rather than seeing the problem in silos. That is the word you need to keep in mind. The next is the foreign hand. You know that Foreign Contributions Regulation Act is amended and the bill is passed by the Parliament. What are the amendments brought in? Aadhaar is made mandatory for everyone and added to that 20% of the expenditure only can be the administrative expenditure. And then the word public servant is also put in place, who cannot accept the foreign funds. Previously it was government servant. Now it is changed to public servant. In this context, government is tightening the FCRA. Why? It believes that foreign funds are the major reason for religious conversions in India. Unless religious conversions and foreign donations are being separated to understand the issue, we cannot have a comprehensive view. See carefully. The religious conversions can happen because of many other factors in Indian society. So foreign funds are not just the reason. And much of the foreign funding is going into academic research, promotion of human rights, liberal ideas, environmental protection, education, health, etc. Seeing it from a very microscopic perspective of religious conversions is very wrong. In this scenario, When political parties have violated FCRA norms to receive foreign funding, entire FCRA was diluted and amended to suit the political parties. In this scenario, the civil society will get worst affected if FCRA norms are being tightened further and civil society is over-regulated. And civil society space is essential for a free and vibrant democracy. And over-regulated in India will not be appreciated among the Committee of Nations. That's what we need to keep in mind. Environmentalism at the core. Here, environmentalism refers to considerations for the environmental issues in any decision and every decision we make. Environmental sustainability is essential for human sustenance on this planet. In this case, the supply chains, green supply chains is the concept brought in. Green supply chains means from manufacturing, procurement, and delivery and dispatch to the customer across every stage. Environmental concerns have to be taken into consideration. Then this green supply chains will have long-term profitability for the organizations. It will improve organizational learning, organizational caring, and there is a value coming from the human resources due to increased contributions. A social collective purpose in a company can bring in collective action which can increase its profitability. In this context, the manufacturing sector across the countries have to take environmentalism at its core. That is what it talks about. You need to carry home this word, green supply chains. Harley shuts India factory sales. Harley Davidson is a US major in automobile sector, motorcycle sector. And other US companies like Ford and General Motors all have also shut their factories or transferred their factories to other companies. Why US companies alone are failing in Indian market? If you take German companies, especially high value German companies, they are successful like BMW, Mercedes, Range Rovers, etc. And at the same time, Korean and Japanese companies are highly successful. Why American companies are a failure? Because they are gas guzzling. Indian average customer looks at the price at buying, price for maintenance. That is where they are unable to add value to Indian customer. China cautious on G4 push for UN Security Council reforms. You know, yesterday External Affairs Minister Mr. Jaishankar along with G4 foreign ministers recommended for an text-based time-bound negotiations for UN Security Council reform. It is opposed by China. What is the reason China is stating? Many of the countries are divisive and there is no consensus to take forward the UN Security Council reform. In this case, with Japan and India, China has a border dispute. China dismisses Germany, saying it is a developed country. China says that more developing, underdeveloped, unrepresented countries have to be given a space rather than these big countries. It means only Brazil has the support of China among the G4 countries. And you need to remember another club called Coffee Club, which opposes G4. Pakistan, Turkey, all these countries are part of the Coffee Club. Gnanpith presented to Malayalam Mahakavi Akitam. So Akitam Achyutan Namboothri, he is described as the Mahakavi of this generation. He is given the highest literary award of India, Gnanpith, this year. So these are the articles for today. Signing off, Dr. Rambabu for Law Excellence.